Our lives are all pockmarked with pivots and divots, days, events, moments that have the ability to change the course of our lives. When we first met Grace Taylor on the lacrosse field at Harvard University, we understood the significance of the moment in real time. We knew our lives would not be the same. The connection our two girls have with her was immediate and real and strong and has continued beyond graduation as Grace moved to New York for graduate school as she prepares for the 2026 Boston Marathon and as they talk and text. As a parent, as someone who loves sports, as a cancer dad, these moments become everything. After the senior game last year, I found Grace in the crowd and gave her a hug. I leaned in close and tried to say, "Thank you for everything you've done for our girls." I was able to get the words out, but I choked on them. But that is sports, right? That is what makes it so special. Allows you to smile bigger than you ever thought you could, lets your eyes fill up with tears. How it has the ability to go beyond the field and have even more of an impact. It's not always playing the game that is missed the most when the playing is done, but rather being around the team, the people that is longed for. Grace is a force of determination, curiosity, intelligence, compassion, resilience, love. There's an image I have of Grace walking across the field with Tilly on one side and Josephine on the other. And just like how you can give someone a stick, a ball, and they are able to transform into another version of themselves, Grace has the ability to change lives with just her hand wrapped snug around someone else. Thank you, Grace, for everything you've done for us and our family.
Grace is a very selfless, determined, gritty, kind, and just overall passionate human being.
She had this self-proclaimed mantra that we can do hard things. And not only did she embody it, but she motivated the rest of us to embody it as well.
What does Grace make you feel when you're around her? She makes me feel happy. She gives me big hugs, and she's a great person.
I think the timing was perfect in terms of when Tilly joined our program and also knowing everything that Grace had gone through.
Tilly is such a sweet, energetic, compassionate young girl.
She always comes to practices and games like the biggest smile on her face and the most infectious laugh.
They definitely put smiles on their faces and really enjoy just having a little bit of perspective and seeing somebody who's just so happy to see them. She doesn't care if we're good or if we win or lose. She's just so happy to be around the team and such amazing women.
1, 2, 3, Grace!
That was a surprise, so, excuse me, just need a second. Thank you for that introduction. I was not expecting that, but I'm so happy to be here tonight, and thank you for all the work that has gone into this amazing night. Before I ever met Tilly and Josephine, I thought I understood what it meant to be a teammate. I grew up playing pretty much every sport I could get my hands on, starting with bowling at a little Catholic school, then soccer, basketball, lacrosse, and even an ill-advised stint in log rolling during my summer camp. I come from a family of athletes. My dad played at Georgetown, my mom played lacrosse at BC, so I guess go Eagles. My brother played at Hamilton, and my sister is currently on the BC lacrosse team. We grew up competing what we call the Taylor Family Olympics every year. My life revolved around practices, games, bus rides, and locker rooms. I thought being a good teammate meant working hard and pushing each other to be better. I thought I had it all figured out, and then I was introduced to Team Impact, and I met Tilly and Josephine, and I realized I'd only been seeing a small piece of what being on a team really means. Turns out I had a pretty clean, controlled version of it, one that worked really great when everything went according to plan. But my journey as a student athlete did not go according to plan. COVID wiped out my junior and senior high school seasons, but I was fortunate enough to still earn the opportunity to play Division I lacrosse at Harvard. Then freshman fall, I took a point-blank shot straight to my temple, which was my 5th concussion, And I spent the rest of my college career wearing a helmet as a field player, which is not subtle. It's a little embarrassing. It was definitely not the look I was going for. And just when I thought things could not get harder after the pandemic, I had stress fractures, I broke my shoulder after more concussions and even mono, life just doubled down. I was diagnosed with cancer. And I'll never forget when my doctor rolled his chair back, he looked at me and my mom, and he told us that I had a rare and aggressive form of thyroid cancer. It had apparently been growing for years. I had a 5-centimeter tumor on my thyroid. It was wrapped around my vocal cords, spread from my collarbone to the base of my skull, and it had metastasized upwards of 90 lymph nodes. It was the first day of my sophomore year. I had just turned 19. Everything that felt stable suddenly was not. But what grounded me, what gave me something to hold on to, was my team, my sport, and the goals I'd set for myself. I prepared for surgeries like it was a championship game, visualizing each detail, from the cold metal rail of my bed to waking up and hopefully maintaining my voice. Each day, one day at a time, like a game at a time. If I could survive post-practice conditioning tests, I told myself I could survive these surgeries and radioactive iodine treatment. And through it all, I held on to one goal: to come back. Not just to play lacrosse, but to be part of a team again. To the locker room, to the routine, to the dinners, to the bus ride, to belonging. Almost a year after my diagnosis, in the fall of 2023, the Harvard women's lacrosse team partnered with Team Impact, and I met my teammates for life, Tilly and Josephine. I'd always known about Team Impact, but it was during this season of my life that it stopped being something I admired and became a mission I felt deep in my bones. Signing day was one of those moments I'll never forget. Watching Tilly and Josephine sign their commitment papers, step into our locker room, and see their own lockers, it made everything real. We weren't just connected through a program, we were teammates. And from that point on, their family became my family. Tilly was just 5 years old when we met, and within minutes of meeting her, I knew this kid was different. She listens to Metallica to calm down. She loves donuts as much as I do, maybe more. And she can eat more donuts than a dog left alone with an open bakery box and then just run around like nothing happened, which is a talent in itself. Tilly has been battling cancer since she was 2 years old. She endured a 10-hour surgery before she was 3. She completed a 72-week chemo regimen before her 4th birthday. She has had more doctor appointments, scans, and hospital visits in her 7 years than most of us will have in a lifetime. And yet she shows up fully, with joy, with stubborn optimism, and with a kind of quiet bravery that doesn't ask for attention but earns your respect immediately. Tilly showed me what it actually looks like to choose joy in the middle of something hard, not just after it's over. I've seen her walk into rooms where she has had every reason not to smile, and she still lights up the room. She finds a way to laugh, to run around, to roll down a hill, to decide that eating 2 donuts is at the same time is always a great idea. And Josephine, her older sister, shows up in quieter ways, but no less powerful. In the way that she stands by her sister, in the way that she supports her family, in the way that she's steady, thoughtful, and courageous. I remember watching Jo at her school's violin concert and being struck by her maturity, her depth, and her grace. Being around her made me realize that strength doesn't always look loud. Sometimes it looks like presence, like consistency, like a love that does not waver. If Tilly is energy, Jo is the anchor. They are teammates in every way and complementary. Some of my favorite memories from my Harvard lacrosse experience aren't just from the games. They're from the in-between moments with Tilly and Jo. We played going to college in the dorms, and I showed them that all we do is eat ice cream and acai bowls. No school at Harvard, and we ate way too many sweets. We played Uno at my house, we've gone bowling, we have dinners, we cheer at every game, rain or shine. And we're just together. And that's what stays with me the most. Because here's the thing, sports taught me a lot. They taught me that I can do hard things, that I can keep going when everything in my body is screaming to stop. But Team Impact and Tilly and Josephine showed me that you don't have to do hard things alone. Being with them didn't just make me a better teammate. It gave me hope after my own cancer diagnosis. And somewhere along the way, they became my role models and my reason to keep playing. Because when things got hard, and they did, I wanted to show up the way that they did. I wanted to be present, loyal, as all in as they are. Because being a collegiate athlete eventually ends. The games, the practices, the wins, and the losses, they fade. But the relationships, being teammates with Tilly and Josephine doesn't. And that's what Team Impact does. It creates moments, memories, and belonging. Not just for the kids who are matched, but for the student athletes who are lucky enough to be matched with them. These kids don't just make us better athletes or better teammates, they make us better people. And that is what I carry with me, that we can do hard things, and that we do not have to do them alone. And that 2 donuts are always better than 1. Thank you.